Hello everybody, you are still rocking this and I so appreciate all your help in spreading the word. Please keep it up. This is just becoming such a wonderful, warm, helpful, incredibly creative community of photographers of all kinds of levels. I love the way you're all helping each other in the group and looking after each other. If you're new to this, you don't know what Photography Lockdown is, please click the little thing popping out above me right now. That will take you to a page on my website. Will explain all about it, the competitions, the prizes, how to enter, and what this week's theme is. So, if you want to come back to it at any point, just mouse over, you'll get a little eye symbol, click on it, and then you will get that link again. So, what are we going to do this week? This week we've got a really intriguing theme set by an astonishing landscape photographer. This week's theme is Run Through the Jungle. It's been set by a friend of mine, Mr. Tom Mackey. Tom is an awesome landscape photographer and he probably has the world's dream job of traveling all over this beautiful, stunning world, creating amazing images of it for both his own Tom Mackey Picture Library and other specialist agencies. He shoots for advertising, calendars, magazines such as National Geographic Traveller, Geo, Lonely Planet and the Sunday Times magazine. The Sunday Times Travel magazine. He also leads a variety of small intimate group workshops all over the world. Tom is a really cool guy, although I wanted to kill him the first time I met him, and I'll save that story until he's here in the live judging next Sunday, and then we will confront him. So your images need to be uploaded by this Thursday and use the hashtag that is on screen right now, PLDJungle, hashtag PLDJungle. Your images must be uploaded by midnight UK time on Thursday, or I'm sorry, we can't include them. As always, this is a challenge for what you can create during lockdown in your own lockdown environment. Please do not go to your archive and upload stuff from a year ago or something you shot last month. This is about what you can create with what you have within your environment right now. This isn't about award-winning pictures, this is about creativity, about thinking of different ways to photograph and shoot. So this week's theme, Run Through the Jungle. Let me just read you a few words Tom gave me that he wanted me to say to you. We all have gardens to a certain extent, whether that is a well-designed formal garden or a little cottagey garden, maybe it's just a window box of flowers or a house plant. Maybe you've got a few herbs growing out on the patio or on the balcony. Maybe you live in a flat and you've got a few herbs on the kitchen side or something like that. But somewhere you've got something. I want to see, this is Tom, I want to see creative use of photographing flowers or plants showing a great use of colour, design or patterns. That's kind of what he said as a bit of a brief. That's the kind of thing that he likes. Now, I don't have a lot of greenery in here to play with, very, very little indeed. So those of you that are going, but I haven't got loads of beautiful plants or a greenhouse out in the garden, well, neither have I. I've got this kind of rather strange, slightly yellowing, because it probably needs a little bit of water. I don't even know what it is. That's how good I am. But let's see what we can do with that. Let's see how we can explore ways to fulfill that brief. Let's see if there are any little techniques. Now, as always, the most important thing we're looking for here is not so much a creative way of interpreting the theme, Run Through the Jungle, though you can be as creative as you like. This is about some great photos of whatever you have to hand of plants. That is light, that is composition, that is where to stand, when to click. You know, there are very few highlights in here, but you know, if the sun came around that way and we got a highlight down here on those plants, then maybe that would be the perfect time to click. Sure, you've got to know a handful of controls on your camera, but there's not that many, and I can help you do that. Guys, if you're struggling with your camera controls and you're in lockdown and you're bored, now is the perfect time. Go and have a look at my Ultimate Beginners course. It will tell you everything you need to know about working one of those. Most of the things on here, you don't even need them. Think of the great photographers of the past who had just 3 controls. They had an aperture, a shutter, and they had a focus ring, and they were taking amazing pictures back then that still blow us away today. You can do the same. With your whiz-bang DSLR, in theory, you should be blowing them out of the water if the camera was important. Right, what are we going to do with our Run Through the Jungle with our bit of bush? Let's see. I think I'm going to need to change the shot. Yeah, I am. I'm cutting my head off. Maybe that's a blessing. Let's just see if I can move this over here a little. Let's see what that shot looks like. It's going to be wobbly, guys. It's going to be wobbly. Let's lift that up a bit. There we go. There we go. There's your shot. Right. Is that better? Kind of, not really. A bit more. That's what you got. So, what do we got? Here we go. We've got a little bit of bush going on here. We do like a bit of bush. So, let's see what we're going to do. I'm going to use a longer focal length. I'm using my 55 to 200 because I kind of want to get in on this a little bit, a bit of action going on here. But I don't have a macro lens, so I'm going to use my long lens. I'm just going to modify the microphone so it's going to fall off. There we go. I'm just going to use the longer lens to bring things in closer. What sort of depth of field am I likely to want? Well, I think it'll be confusing if we have too much depth of field. We want to isolate little bits. We're looking for shapes and lines and graphics and whatever we can do to get great light in there. Let me have a little explore through the camera, see if I can show you what we got. Oh, that's quite nice, straight off the thing. Let's see if I can find that again. Now that's just coincidence, but you know, that's quite a nice shape, isn't it? What if we move it around? That's very symmetrical and lovely. What if we come to the side a bit? Look, you see that tiny movement I made and we changed the composition? Go the other way. Composition is not a camera function, it is a photographer function. It is about using your arms and legs and hands and feet to move around. That's a bit there we go, it's better, it's in focus. What if we get tighter into the action? Do you see what I mean? Look, there's some really nice, actually, graphic shapes going on there, which are pretty cool. That was not rehearsed. I genuinely didn't know that would work. What else have we got in here? What other shapes? I don't really know. We've got, oh, there's something going on down in the back there. There's some shapes going on here. I like the way that's fanning. Let's try this. Yeah, look, that's a nice shape, isn't it? We've kind of got a bit of framing here. I don't know if you can see that, can you? Yes, you can. A bit of framing here. We've got the shapes here. There's a bit of light from the other end of the room coming through the leaves, and it actually makes them look really rather nice. That's quite nice, isn't it? What does it look like as we change the focal length? A bit too busy. Oh, look, I've just noticed. Can you see? Where's my finger? There it is. Can you see around the bottom there? We got that little, it's kind of like holding it into a, it's kind of holding that together along with the graphic lines from a long lens. You see these lines here? Let's see if we can make that work more by getting in closer, closer, closer. I think that's rather nice. Let's take that as a shot. What about exposure? How hard is it going to be? I'm lucky, there's quite a lot of light in here, even though it's very flat. So my exposure, I want a shallow depth of field. Oh, how annoying. I also want a new battery. Wait right there, I'll be back. What an amateur, what a numpty. Let's go back so we can find that shot again. There it is, it's done. Oh, look at that, that is just really cool. Get my focus back onto single point. There, that looks lovely. Isn't that a lovely shape going on in there? We were talking about exposure. I like that, I like that. I want a shallow depth of field because we want to isolate little parts, little shapes, little pools of light, little abstract patterns. So I'm using a shallow depth of field. That is giving me a wide aperture of f4. I want my shutter speed fast enough to freeze the action. Now I have got my image stabilizing on, and I've got the ISO jacked up to 1000 ISO. And still, in here, in this light, can only achieve a 30th of a second shutter speed, and I'm not using a tripod. Image stabilization on the Fuji's great. Also, notice how the camera is being held, look, being braced against my body so that it doesn't move around too much. Let's just take that shot again, but also let's check it and let's zoom in at the time of shooting. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's sharp. Wouldn't hurt to go a little bit faster. Let's see if we can get a 60th. That means we've got to take the ISO up by a full stop, doesn't it? To go from a 30th to a 60th, we're now on 1600 ISO. Is that a full stop? I don't know, I never was good at maths. That's a nice shape, that's a nice shape. There's some quite nice patterns down here. Let me just play with some and see what we can do. Oh, that is a nice shape, but I'm too close and can't focus. This is, you know, just all about trying and testing and playing with different approaches. That's quite nice. But what I'm seeing here is the light's flat. The light is not particularly exciting. So how else can we do it? Where are we going to get backlight? Through a leaf. Backlight through a leaf really works well. Well, look what we've got up here. We've got a window. So that suggests there's more light this side than that side. So I think what we need to do, I could make such a rude comment here, but I think we need to go down over there. Let's see, if I put this on the floor, how does it look? Will you be able to see what's going on? Bear with me. Let's see what we can come up with. That's not bad, is it? Look, I think if I go in that little gap, down there, down, where is it? That way, there, and look up this way through the plant, we're going to have some good light coming through behind it. Excuse me. Sticking with the same exposure, I expect, because has the light in here changed? Ask yourself that question. No, it hasn't, and it looks quite cool. I quite like this. Let me see. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. What we've got. Oh. 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 I'm getting really overexcited. Do like a bit of bush action. Right. Here we go. Let me see if I can video. Look at these shapes. We're starting to get in here. As you look through the camera and start looking to see what's going on, look at that. Look at those shapes. Look at the annoying dark bit running diagonally across the frame from the kitchen bar breakfast bit. So let's change, let's move it. Look at those shapes. And they look so much better because the leaves are backlit. Light is everything. Light is what you need. Let's look over here. Again, look at that. Isn't that a cool shape? Isn't that an interesting shot? Look through the camera. Look, these little tiny movements that I'm making, you can see them. See how they're changing the composition. They're changing what's going on. And by using that shallow depth of field, the background is blown out. So we can't really see that there's a stool behind those leaves. I quite like, oh, I like that. I don't know why, I just do. The colour of the little bit of dead leaf works with the background, doesn't it? I'm going to experiment. You've seen what I'm doing, guys. This is all you have to do. If you are somewhere near the beginning of your photography journey, this is all it is. It is so simple. Please don't listen to the rumours and the whispers that you hear online all the time. All the people making out how clever they are because they can do photography. Photography is actually fairly simple. There's only a handful of controls on a camera you need to know. The rest of it is what we're doing now. Lying on the floor, standing up, trying different angles, twisting the camera around. I spend all my life teaching people these things because that is what it takes. There's beautiful light through there. There's something annoying in the background though. I wonder what that is. I'm going to get rid of it. Wait for me. I have to do it. It is a chair and a stool. A chair and a stool, a chair and a cushion. Let's get rid of it. Put it over there. Try it again. You see, this is how you do photography. You just work through that so much. Oh man, that's just so sexy. Look at these shapes and colours. That's just gorgeous. How cool is that? I'm just going to shoot maybe a couple more. Now I want to try and isolate something against white. Oh, I think we found it up there. Let's just zoom in a bit. Let me show you what I'm doing. I'm not going to video it. If I take this shot like that, it's still a nice shot, but the bit in the top left corner is the most interesting part. So let's just zoom in on it a little more, a little tighter, try and lose what's going on around it. There we go. Let's make that into a clean, symmetrical pattern. Look at that. Isn't that great? Isn't that simple? Just lying on the floor. Let's experiment some more. Let's try putting that central stalk to the side. How does it look? I kind of prefer it. You know me, I like to mess with the rules. Let's go lower down the plant and try another One there, one to the side. Let's do another one going the other way. Once you find the pool of light, work with it, stick with it, experiment, try different things out, because that is what photography is all about. So this week's challenge is Run Through the Jungle by the awesome Mr. Tom Mackey. You heard what he said. We're looking for some interesting shapes. You've got a plant somewhere in the house. The hashtag for this week is on screen. It has been throughout this video. Closes on Thursday night at midnight. If it's after that, I'm sorry guys, it won't be included. And also, don't just rush off to your archive to upload pictures. The whole point of this is to stretch your creativity muscle, to exercise it, to work on it. Not just go, no, I've got something over there and upload it. That's lazy. I'm sorry guys, that's lazy. Photography is a skill. And like all skills, you have to do practice. You have to make it work. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, we're going to be judging live on Sunday night. You can meet Mr. Mackey, and I'm going to take him to task over what he did to me that day we very first met. Take care. See you Sunday.